Have you ever stepped outside to enjoy your garden or your patio in the evening, only to be attacked by swarms of no-see-ums, gnats, or other tiny biting pests? You can't see them, you can barely swat them, and yet they leave you itchy, irritated, and ready to run back inside. Now, most people grab a can of chemical spray or light up one of those smelly bug candles, but let's be honest, that's not fun. It's not healthy, and it's definitely not the lazy gardener's way. Here's the good news. Nature already gave us a much easier solution. There are certain plants you can grow right in your yard, on your balcony, or even in containers, and these plants naturally repel no-see-ums and other annoying pests. And the best part? They're gorgeous, low maintenance, and require little effort. Perfect if you love gardening but don't love spending hours on upkeep. In this video, I'm going to show you 9 powerful plants that act like nature's bug repellent. You'll learn exactly how they work, how easy they are to grow, and how you can use them to keep your outdoor space comfortable all season long. And trust me, wait until you see plant number 7. It's one of the most overlooked plants in the garden world, but it works like magic against these little pests. Now, before we jump into the list, here's a quick preview of what's coming. You're going to discover plants that not only chase away no-see-ums, but also keep gnats, mosquitoes, and other tiny pests out of your space. These are easy care plants that thrive in most gardens, add beauty and fragrance, and won't demand hours of work. And hey, if you love gardening the lazy way, letting nature do the heavy lifting for you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell right now. That way, you won't miss any of my upcoming videos packed with simple hacks to keep your garden thriving with less effort. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for all of these tips. All right, let's kick things off with a true classic, lavender. You probably know lavender for its calming fragrance, the kind used in candles, soaps, and essential oils. But what most people don't realize is that lavender is also one of nature's strongest pest repellents. Its scent, soothing to us, is overwhelming and downright unbearable to no-see-ums, mosquitoes, and other tiny pests. These little pests absolutely hate it. Now here's why lavender is perfect for the lazy gardener. Once it's established, this plant is almost hands-off. Lavender thrives in full sun and well-drained soil, so if you've got a sunny corner in your yard or even just a container on your porch, you're good to go. Water it sparingly. In fact, it prefers being a little on the dry side. And the bonus, the less you fuss over it, the better it grows. That's my kind of plant. So imagine this, a few pots of lavender around your seating area, not only adding a splash of purple beauty and fragrance, but also keeping those biting no-see-ums far away. What do you think? Do you already grow lavender in your garden? If so, drop a comment below and let me know if you've noticed fewer pests hanging around. I'd love to hear your experience. Next up is one that's probably already in your kitchen. Basil. We love basil in salads, pasta, and pesto, but pests? They can't stand it. Basil has natural oils that repel no-see-ums, mosquitoes, and even houseflies. Plant it close to outdoor seating, and you'll notice a big difference in how many little insects buzz around. Here's why basil is perfect for the lazy gardener. It grows quickly, it's forgiving, and it can thrive in pots, raised beds, or directly in the ground. Basil loves full sun but will tolerate partial shade. As long as you keep the soil moist and pinch off the flowers when they appear, basil will reward you with continuous fresh leaves. And every time you brush against it, you release more of those pest-repelling oils into the air. So here's the win-win. You get to harvest fresh basil for your meals, while your garden gets a natural line of defense against tiny invaders. Now let's talk about one of the most underrated champions of the pest-repelling world, marigolds. Most gardeners plant marigolds for their cheerful, fiery colors, those bright oranges, yellows, and reds that light up a garden bed. But what many don't realize is that marigolds are more than just pretty faces. These flowers release a distinctive scent that confuses and drives away no-see-ums, gnats, and even harmful garden pests like nematodes and aphids. To us, they smell earthy and warm. To insects, it's a red flag that screams, "Stay away." Now here's where marigolds really shine for the lazy gardener. They're incredibly easy to grow. These flowers are practically bulletproof. All they need is a sunny spot, some average soil, and the occasional watering. Once they're established, they keep blooming all season long with very little effort. And unlike some delicate flowers, marigolds actually like the heat. They thrive in full sun when many plants start to wilt. Here's a pro tip. Line your garden borders or vegetable beds with marigolds. Not only will they add a vibrant border of color, but they'll also form a natural barrier that pests hesitate to cross. Think of them as the tiny security guards of your garden. I've got to ask you, have you ever noticed how few bugs hover around marigolds compared to other flowers? If you've grown them before, share your experience in the comments. And if you haven't, this might be the easiest, most colorful pest solution you'll ever try. Next up, we're moving to a plant that's just as useful in the kitchen as it is in the garden: rosemary. Rosemary is a fragrant, woody herb with needle-like leaves. Most people think of it as that delicious seasoning for roasted potatoes or grilled chicken. But here's a little secret. Pests despise rosemary. Its strong, pine-like aroma is almost unbearable to no-see-ums, mosquitoes, and even houseflies. It's nature's way of saying dinner is served for you, not for them. Now, rosemary has another advantage. It's evergreen in many climates, which means it works as a year-round pest deterrent. Imagine stepping into your garden in the middle of summer and brushing past a rosemary plant. Instantly, that burst of fragrance fills the air, making it inviting for you and unpleasant for pests. Lazy gardener tip: rosemary doesn't ask for much. It thrives in full sun and likes soil that drains quickly. In fact, it hates being overwatered, so the less you fuss over it, the better it grows. You can plant it in the ground to create a low hedge, or keep it in pots near your patio where you sit the most. That way, every breeze carries the scent right where you need it. And here's a bonus. Rosemary can grow into a surprisingly large and decorative shrub if you let it, adding structure and greenery to your garden. So it's not just a pest repeller, it's a functional, edible, and ornamental plant all in one. Tell me this in the comments. Do you grow rosemary mainly for cooking, or have you noticed its bug-repelling powers in action too? I'd love to hear how you use it. All right, plant number 5 is one that your pets might love even more than you do: catnip. Now, most people know catnip for the hilarious reaction it gets from cats. They roll around in it, rub their faces on it, and act like they're in pure bliss. But here's something you may not know. Catnip contains a natural compound called naphthalactone. And while cats adore it, no-see-ums, gnats, and especially mosquitoes absolutely can't stand it. In fact, studies have shown catnip can be more effective at repelling mosquitoes than some chemical repellents. Pretty impressive for such a humble little herb. Here's the beauty of catnip for the lazy gardener. It grows quickly, spreads easily, and practically takes care of itself. You don't need rich soil or special conditions. Just give it a sunny spot and water it every now and then, and it'll thrive. If you've got a patch of ground that looks empty and you want a natural bug barrier, catnip will happily fill in the space for you. Now, a little word of caution. Catnip does tend to spread like wildfire, so if you don't want it taking over your garden, I'd suggest planting it in pots or containers. That way you control where it grows. Plus, you can move it around to wherever you need extra pest protection. And of course, if you're a cat owner, this plant becomes a 2-for-1 deal. You get fewer pests, and your furry friend gets their own natural entertainment center. Now, let's move on to one of my absolute favorites, lemongrass. If you've ever used citronella candles to keep bugs away, here's a secret. They come from lemongrass. This tall tropical grass is packed with citronella oil, a natural compound that repels no-see-ums, mosquitoes, and flies. Instead of burning a candle full of processed oil, why not grow the real deal right in your garden? Picture this. Tall, graceful stalks of lemongrass swaying in the breeze, releasing a fresh, citrusy aroma into the air. It's not only beautiful to look at, but it's actively working to create a pest-free bubble around your outdoor space. Now, for the lazy gardener, lemongrass is a dream. It loves full sun, thrives in warm climates, and once it's established, it doesn't demand much from you. Regular watering is enough, and you can plant it directly in the ground or in large pots. And here's a bonus.
Lemongrass isn't just a pest repellent. It's also a flavorful herb you can use in teas, soups, and stir-fries. So you're getting both protection and a culinary treat from the same plant. One tip: lemongrass grows in clumps and can get fairly large, so give it a little room to spread. Use it as a natural screen around your patio or garden seating area. It doubles as a privacy hedge and a pest barrier. That's efficient gardening right there. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever cooked with lemongrass, or would you grow it mainly for its bug-repelling benefits? Drop your answer in the comments, because I think this plant deserves way more attention than it gets. Coming in at number 3, we have the cool, refreshing powerhouse, peppermint. Now, imagine this for a moment. You're sitting outside on a warm evening, sipping something cold, and a gentle breeze carries that crisp, minty aroma right past you. To us, it feels invigorating. It clears the air. It refreshes the senses. But to no-see-ums, gnats, and mosquitoes, that same fragrance is like an invisible wall. They absolutely hate it. The strong menthol oils and peppermint overwhelm their tiny systems and send them flying in the opposite direction. But peppermint doesn't just protect your evenings. It's also one of the easiest herbs to grow. And when I say easy, I mean really easy. In fact, the biggest challenge with peppermint isn't keeping it alive, it's keeping it contained. This plant spreads fast. Put it in the ground, and before you know it, it'll take over every corner of your garden. The lazy gardener's trick? Grow peppermint in pots or raised containers. That way you control where it goes and still enjoy its benefits right where you want them. And here's the bonus. Peppermint isn't just for repelling pests. You can snip off a few leaves for fresh tea, garnish your drinks, or even add a cooling twist to summer dishes. So every time you use it, you're reminded that your pest control is also doubling as a flavor boost in the kitchen. Now, at number 2, we have a plant that's practically legendary when it comes to repelling pests, Citronella Grass. Most people recognize the name because of citronella candles. You've probably lit one on your patio at some point. But here's the thing, those candles are a watered-down version of what the actual plant can do. Growing the real citronella grass in your garden is like installing a natural shield against no-see-ums and mosquitoes. The moment you brush against its tall, lemon-scented blades, it releases oils that bugs can't stand.
Visually, citronella grass is striking. It grows tall, lush, and elegant, with long green leaves that sway with every breeze. Plant it in clusters around your sitting area, and you don't just get protection, you create a natural green screen that adds beauty and movement to your garden space. And for the lazy gardener, this plant is practically tailor-made. It loves warm weather, thrives in sunlight, and doesn't ask for much beyond regular watering and some room to grow. In fact, it's happiest when you leave it alone. Once it's established, it stands tall all season, working quietly in the background to keep those biting insects away. Here's a little tip. Place citronella grass in large pots near your patio furniture or entryways. That way, the fragrance stays concentrated right where you need it most. It's like placing natural bug barriers exactly where you'll benefit the most. So I'm curious, do you think citronella grass deserves its reputation as the king of pest-repelling plants? Or have you found another herb or flower that beats it? Share your thoughts below because I think this one deserves a crown. And here we are, the number 1 lazy gardener's secret weapon against no-see-ums and other tiny pests. Drum roll, please. It's none other than garlic. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Garlic? Really? That humble bulb you toss into your kitchen recipes? But trust me, garlic is more than just flavor for your pasta sauce. It's one of the most powerful natural repellents you can grow right in your garden. Here's why. Garlic contains sulfur compounds that insects can't tolerate. When it grows, it releases these compounds into the air and even into the soil. To us, it's barely noticeable unless you're up close, but to no-see-ums, mosquitoes, and even destructive pests like aphids and beetles, it's like an alarm siren screaming, "Don't come near here!" The best part? Garlic asks for almost nothing in return. Plant the cloves in well-drained soil, give them some sunlight, and they'll happily grow with very little care. No fuss, no endless watering, no constant pruning. And when the time comes, you not only get a natural pest defense system, but also your very own harvest of fresh, homegrown garlic bulbs for the kitchen.
Imagine pulling up a handful of garlic that not only protected your garden all season long, but is also ready to flavor your meals. That's the lazy gardener's dream. Double the reward, half the effort. I like to think of garlic as the quiet guardian of the garden. It doesn't shout for attention with bright flowers or flashy leaves, but it quietly goes about its business, keeping pests at bay while enriching the soil and providing food for you. So, here's my question for you. If you had to pick just one plant from this entire list to start with, would you pick garlic? Or is there another plant from today's countdown that stole the top spot in your heart? Share it in the comments, because I think this one deserves a crown.
So let's do a quick recap before we wrap up. We started with lavender, the calming purple beauty that doubles as a bug shield. Then we had basil, giving you both kitchen flavor and natural protection. Marigolds, the colorful border guards that pests can't cross. Rosemary, evergreen and aromatic, perfect for lazy gardeners and cooks alike. Catnip, the cat's delight that insects despise. Lemongrass, tall and graceful, filling your garden with citrus fragrance and protection. Peppermint, spreading fast but giving you fresh tea and fresh air. Citronella grass, the living legend of bug repellents. And finally, garlic, the quiet guardian, protecting your garden while filling your pantry. And there you have it, 9 powerful, low-maintenance plants that naturally keep no-see-ums and other pesky insects out of your garden. What I love most about this list is that it proves gardening doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need harsh chemicals or hours of back-breaking work. You just need the right plants in the right places, and nature takes care of the rest. That's the true beauty of lazy gardening. Simple choices that make a big difference. So here's my challenge to you. Choose just one plant from today's list and give it a try. Watch how it changes your outdoor space, not just for you, but for everyone who enjoys it with you. If this video gave you an idea, inspired you, or even just made you smile, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want more gardening secrets that make life easier, make sure to subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a thing. Most importantly, I'd love to hear from you. Which plant from today's list are you most excited to try first? Or if you are already growing some of them, tell me what results you've seen in your garden. Your stories don't just inspire me, they inspire this entire community of lazy gardeners. Thanks so much for spending this time with me today. Until next time, happy gardening, and here's to enjoying your outdoor space, pest-free, the lazy way.